this is Louiedfresh bringing it to you on a Wednesday. Today what we're going to be talking about my local private university, public university and private university. If you look back on my YouTube, you will see a FIU, which is my local public university, Florida International University. I live in the South Florida area, and I wanted to point out two local schools because I wanted to show you some differences and I wanted to show you some similarities, and I want you to look back on the other video, which is again exploring a public university, and checking this one out, exploring a private university, your local one. Whatever it is, put in your zip code, put in public university, put in private university, put in your zip code, and you will find it. As weird as this sounds, I really wanted to show you, first of all, that I have a notebook. Yes, this is my YouTube notebook. And you should also have a college notebook to write down ideas and things that you need in order to make your college search the best it can be. And the reason that I showed you that notebook is because you could see that this page here is my notes on what I'm going to be talking about. So this way I don't miss anything. And so you too should not just rely on your memory, but actually look on your notes, things that you see and things that you may like about your university that you are looking up. First thing I wanted to show you is that Google, remember, is your best friend. If you look back on my FIU video, you will notice that I also used Google and I put in Florida International University. I do know that was my local public school, but again, put in your zip code and put in your zip code, public university, and in this case, private university and your zip code. I just happen to know that Barry University is indeed my local private university. Once you actually do that, feel free to just go right there where it says website, and it'll take you right to that particular school's website. This is Barry University's homepage. Again, because we are in the Christmas season, in case you're watching this a couple of years later, I took this during Christmas season. And the reason I also want to show this to you, this Christmas, Merry Christmas, is that because it is a Catholic school. That does not mean that if you are a Catholic, that's the school for you. It does not mean that if you're Jewish, Muslim, Hindu, it does not mean that is a school that is only caters to Catholic people. It just happens to have a Catholic feel to it. You will have to take a theology class, but theology could be any type of religion. So don't be deterred if it's Catholic or Christian or Jewish or whatever. So don't get deterred by that. First thing you're going to click as future students, because all of you guys will be future students. This happens to be when, again, you're messing around with the websites, take a look at something that tells you that you will be there at some point. Not current students or alumni people that graduated, that you're going to be a future student. Then, as a reminder, you are going to be an undergraduate. Unless you have already graduated from college, you are an undergraduate. Then you are going to go to admissions because you are looking to gain admission to a particular school. Again, this is just for practice, your local private university. Again, as I showed you in the very beginning of this video, I did take notes, so I did notice what was what in this on this website. So I wanted to show you this thing here, virtual campus tour. This is the tail end of 2020. For those people who are watching this, whenever it is that you're watching this, it is kind of important that you notice that, especially during a pandemic or what have you, you're not going to get on that campus. So right now, virtual tour would be ideal. Or if you happen to be looking at, again, this is a local school, but if you happen to be looking at this in a different country, such as Turkey, India, if you're looking at this in Pakistan, and you would like to learn, you're not going to fly out just to see the school, this is a fabulous way for you to check out the virtual campus tour so you can see what is actually there. And in this case, you click on Let's Go, and you will be taken literally to a virtual tour. Again, messing around with the website yesterday, I did notice that how to kind of learn more about how to get admitted is right there at the admissions process. Once you click on there, it will take you to this admissions process, undergraduate, meaning that you still are looking for a college degree. If you're the first time student, if you are a senior in high school, this is what you'll be clicking. Freshman student, first time in college, or I know I have lots of YouTube subscribers that are in Turkey, India, Pakistan, Bangladesh. You would be an international student. So click on what would apply to you. That will then take you to this right here, freshman, first time in college. explore academic programs. I'm going to revisit this a little bit later on in the video, but yes, that is what you want to take a look at. What do they have to offer for you? Once you click on that, you'll see academic programs. This is college lingo. If you are an undergraduate, you're looking for your college degree. Here in the United States, it is called a bachelor's degree. That will be your 4 years of college, your 120 credits for undergraduate, your college degree. If you're done with your bachelor's, your 4-year degree, you'll be looking for a master's or a specialist degree or a doctorate degree. Those are higher level degrees after you finish your bachelor's, your initial college degree. Here it's going to show you bachelor programs, such as discovering your career path. You could search for a program. You see that search button there. And it will also give you other possibilities there. They're all in alphabetical order: acting, accounting. As you know, my hand shakes, so I'm not going to kind of flip through it. But you can kind of go through it and check it out for yourself, that this is how you're going to start checking it out. And remember, the most popular major is always undecided. Don't be nervous about not finding what you're looking for in a school. Now, I clicked back and I wanted to check out applying now. Remember, this is all just practice with your local public school and your local private school. This is my local private school here in South Florida. And you would click on apply now. This part here is rather important because I want you to notice that every school has their own little way of doing things. I want you to remember, if you look back, don't be afraid to look back on the Florida International University example. Again, we're talking about the admissions process and how to get in. This is one of the key things you're going to be looking for in any school. First of all is admission. How are you getting in? Every school has their own little way of doing things. In this case, you have to sign up. You notice it says first name, last name, your username. It even tells you what your username is going to be, your email address. Make sure your email address is appropriate. Make sure if you have a silly email address that you change it for your college application. Your first name and last names, make sure you use your actual legal name. Don't give any nicknames. And you notice there a password, as I mentioned in my Florida International Public University video, that you make sure that you write down all your passwords. Don't rely on your memory, just as I'm using my notebook here. Don't rely on your memory. And then you would sign up, and then you see there, create a new account. And once you've actually created this account and it's confirmed, then you would go here to this page where you put in your username, which we already said was going to be your email address, and the password, which we said we already created and we wrote down in a notebook or on your phone. And then I would click remember me so you don't forget, just in case. And then you would log in and start your application. One more quick point on the application here. I want you to notice that we already started the online application. We already created an account there. I want you to notice most colleges, they do require an application fee. This one doesn't. And so that's important because applications can be rather expensive. And I want you to notice this thing here called a common application. We will address the common application probably at least for 2 separate videos in the future, because the common application is one application. Here's the common application, commonapp.org. You can apply to many different schools with one application, and we would definitely be at least 2 videos on that in the future, as well as the coalition application, which is also similar to this, where you can do a bunch of schools with one particular application. And if this happens to be near you, around you, or any school that, because we're looking at a local school, your local school, I would definitely schedule a campus tour. But Louiedfresh, I'm not interested in my local public school. Get interested. Check it out. See what the campus has to offer and schedule a campus tour. As I continue our little video here, I would just take a look. What we're going to be taking a look at, remember, these are 5 things that we're going to be looking at in general. One-dimensionally, I have a playlist for College Spotlight or Spotlight Colleges. We are going to talk about these 5 particular things. Number 1 was admissions. We just went through the admissions process in the last 9 minutes and a half. And now we're going to take a look at the financial aid process, because colleges can be very expensive. And this is a key varying factor between a public school and a private school, which we're going to take a look at right now. Again, as I was exploring here yesterday on how to apply and all of that, some schools have a separate whatever the thing is called up here, where it would say financial aid, but in this case it didn't. It was right here among the application because it is so critical, and I do realize how expensive things can be. Scholarships and grants, if you look back on my social media, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and TikTok, on Wednesday, which was today because I'm shooting this video today, but Wednesday I had a thing there on type of college aid, and one of them is scholarships and grants. Scholarships and grants are free money that you do not need to pay back, and that's something you should be very interested in checking out. Remember that I mentioned to you guys in another video, see, everything kind of snowballs one on top of the other. A previous video, and I mentioned the different types of aid and different ways of looking at aid. One of the things that I mentioned was the FAFSA. Here in the United States, something called a FAFSA free application for federal student aid. You need to fill that out before you consider any other type of aid. That is the backbone, that is the foundation of financial aid. And then once you do that, you need to look at your state aid, your local state aid if you happen to live in the United States. If you don't, feel free to look at your country. Your country may have aid for you to come to the United States. So that's something else you should take a look at, and look at your private aid, such as a scholarships.com. If you want to write that down, write it down. Scholarships.com, fastwebs.com, scholarshipmonkey.com. Nobody's paying me to say that. They're all free. Everything here, Barry University, what I'm showing you is absolutely free. I'm not doing anything that's outlandish. Everything's free to you. To look at FIU, my previous video, everything was there for free. Look at my other videos relating to financial aid. You will notice that most of these financial ways of getting into college are free. So take advantage. Once I clicked on scholarships and grants, you'll notice that this is critically important. Every school, you remember from Florida International University, they had their own scholarships. I believe they had the FIU Golden Promise. In this case, this is my local private university. They have something called Barry Scholarships. You see the website there, Barry Access Grant. A grant, again, is free money. And athletic grants, if you are an athlete, we here in the United States have divisions, primarily Division 1 and 2. They do give grants and scholarships. Division 3, they do not, but sometimes you can. In this case, Barry University is a Division 2 school. Something I failed to mention as I get into cost of attendance and the importance of knowing how you're going to get your financial aid is you have little videos. Look at them. Don't be silly. Remember, right now you're exploring, you're learning, especially if you're watching this during the summer, or if you're watching this during the holidays, or you're just getting into this whole process. Really watch these videos. Find out what they can do to help you, and notice little pop-ups like this. Hi, I'm here in chat box to help ask any questions. Use them. Make you to your advantage. That's why they are there. I want you to notice the price tag here. Notice the tuition is a heck of a lot higher. Again, this is me in South Florida, private school. That, remember I told you, the government tends to subsidize some of the public schools. Notice here in the private sector that it is not. And you will notice that the tuition and fees are a lot higher. You'll notice that eventually with your housing and your meal plan and what have you, your cost, your total COA, cost of attendance, is there around, again, $52,000, $50,000. And this is normal. This is not outlandish. This is for any state, that cost of attendance is high. Remember, here in your exploration process, remember what I mentioned about federal aid. That means government aid. United States government aid is federal aid, and is there with the FAFSA, which we told you to fill out. And notice that is the general amount that you can get for your, again, there's a lot of lingo there, but you can get there $6,000 for your tuition. That is all federal money. That is free of cost. And again, remember the little videos. Don't be afraid to take a look at them. Here's something a little different with your state financial aid. If you look at Florida International, I did not mention this particular thing. I mentioned this, the Florida Bright Future Scholarship, which is something that is accepted in both public and private schools. And again, look at your local state, look at your country, see what is offered. But the reason I'm really emphasizing these things, because every state has their own little thing. Like here, so it used to be called the FRAG, now it's called the FSAG, the Florida Student Access Grant For actually living here in Florida, for actually being a resident here, you can get as much as $1,700 just for living here. That's why I have the little video here on this, the FSAG, the Florida Student Access Grant that is only for private institutions. Once you have exhausted your possibilities through the federal government, through the state, all free money, and your private scholarships through the school, through organizations that I mentioned, scholarships.com, for example, then you're going to finish up paying your tuition through student loans. But that is the very last thing you want to do, because those you need to pay back. And again, if you look back on my Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok on Wednesday, you will have noticed I put types of college aid there. And loans, these are federal student loans. They usually are lower in interest, and how to become eligible. And there's also another little video down here on types of direct loans that you can get from governments, from banks or institutions such as Sallie Mae. Okay, now we're 16 minutes and 10 seconds into this video. We have covered admissions, we've covered financial aid. Now we're going to take a closer look at majors on what you're going to actually study. Again, looking at my local private school, Barry University, you click on future students, undergraduate admissions, and then we're going to see what we're going to study. You will see that when you go on to undergraduate degrees, you will see the different things you can take a look at. Liberal arts, the different type of academic programs. You want to keep exploring and finding out the academic program that is best suited for you. Whether it be, again, doing your 4-year degree, your master's, your doctoral degree. What are you thinking about studying? Business, communications, nursing. They're excellent for nursing. Career Development Center, because you want to be able to work after you finish your program, and you can find the right program for you. And again, that leads us back to this page, which we already took a look at. All academic programs, discover your path, start messing around with it. Anything at all that may interest you. I don't know what I want to do. That's why you're doing this. Explore, explore, explore. Find out what your path is. And also, if you're very clever, you may want to look into the honors program. Every school has an honors program, honors college. Okay, here we are, 17 minutes and 34 seconds into this. And now we have covered admissions, what you need to do to kind of get into the school, financial aid, as I looked down in my notebook, what you need in order to pay it. You need to pay this university. I know private institutions get expensive, but that doesn't mean that you can't get in. You saw all the many different ways of financing, federally, state-wise. Again, if you're out of the country, different programs that I'll have for you to go to live in that country. Private scholarships. You will see each school has private scholarships. And if you look at previous YouTube video, I talk about bundling all of that: federal, state, out of the country, private scholarships, school scholarships, all of it. You just bundle it all together, and that's how you're going to pay for these schools. All of these schools are packed. If they weren't packed, these schools will go under. So they want you to go to the school. They will find a way for you to go to that school. Now, again, sorry, I digress. Admissions, financial aid. Now we looked at majors, things for you to study. And now remember, as I said in my FIU video, you're not just going to study. You're not going to be just paying. You're not just going to get in. You want to have fun. Having fun means campus life. And so what are you going to do for fun? You can join student organizations, honor societies, Greek life, which I talked about in my FIU video, which are fraternities and sororities, which will have a separate video all on that later on, much later on, to be honest. And what you can do to have fun on this campus. They also have living on campus. You have, again, remember the virtual campus tour that I mentioned, what you could be doing on campus. They do, again, this is South Florida. They do have pools, tennis courts. They have a fitness center. They have kids sitting around having a good old time that they will tell you, yes, come, you will enjoy yourself. In your recreation and wellness, There is a recreation center, a rec center as I call it, for you to enjoy, for you to work out. Intramurals, which is something that I would do because I'm not very good in sports. You would be playing within people, probably within the school. That's what intramural means, within the walls. And you would be playing, flag football, softball. And honestly, it's an awful lot of fun. I did it myself 1,000 years ago when I went to college. Again, I mentioned athletics. These are things you'll be doing recreationally. You'll notice here athletics, what you are Division II. Remember NCAA, we're gonna have a whole video, maybe 2 videos, I'm not sure yet, on the NCAA Eligibility Center, where you can play sports and you can get, as you saw previously in this video, grants, scholarships, and that's why Division II gives scholarships. And if you're into that, check it out. Check out what kind of athletics are available to you. As I mentioned, there is Greek life, fraternities, and sororities. I know they get a bad rap, but I too was also in a fraternity, not a sorority, but a fraternity. Fraternity, is for boys, and sorority are for girls, and that's why they call Greek life, because they give them Greek letters. Mine was Alpha Phi Delta. Those are 3 Greek letters. And the benefits of going Greek. That's what Greek means. So don't get nervous by it, and take a look. Because, again, I will do a video on them, and I think it is worth your time. And please God, once we eventually get back to school, and I'll be taking my students on these college trips once a month, and again, hopefully we'll be doing this for years to come. So we'll see different angles, so I may hit Barry University 2 or 3 times. You'll see different angles of it. But this is my favorite angle. The angle also known as dining, because I love to eat. Generally, all kidding aside, the food in these college dorms or college places are extraordinary. They have top cuisine. You'll see here the student union dining hall, the student union here. They have different type of dining needs. If you have if you are a vegan, you're a vegetarian. If you happen to be, again, this is my local school. If you're a commuter, they have certain meal plans. What the heck are meal plans? Meal plans are simply that you put on money onto your ID. You don't have to walk around with tons of money around, and you don't have to, oh my God, I don't have money to go eat. Everything is there, and you have these meal plans if you live there, or if you commute, if you go home, and you can eat there on campus. And it's really, really worthwhile, those meal plans. I highly, highly suggest it. And again, if you're looking outside of the country, if you're looking at this in Turkey, which is Istanbul, Gambia, yes, you will not go hungry. The food is very, very good, and they will meet your dietary needs if you're kosher, for example, all of those things. I can't lie, I have a big old smile on my face because this is the longest video I've ever done so far. 22 minutes and 54 seconds into it. I thank you for watching this, because it is all really valuable information. I know this sounds weird because I do this for a living. This is what I do, and I really love it. I think it's a lot of fun, and I hope once the YouTube channel really explodes and I do really well and whatever, I still plan on doing this at least part-time for fun, because I think it's that much fun to see what you can do and how you can explore and make your life extraordinary. So again, the 5 things that we're going to be looking at in a school when we do these college spotlights are, as I look at my notebook, college admissions, how to get in, 1. 2, financial aid, how are you going to pay for it? Don't be embarrassed to say, oh, I can't afford it. Nobody can, because eventually I will talk about I'm going to put on my little notes too. We're going to do a local community school, which is, my school is Miami-Dade College, which is huge. It's like about 100,000 kids there. It's huge. Nobody can afford to go to college. So that's why I talk about these things. 1, admissions. 2, financial aid. 3, majors, what you're going to study. 4, activities. 5, find your admission counselor. This is going to be your best friend. This is the person that you're going to look to for any and all questions. In this case, again, you need to mess around with these websites. Every website is different. Again, this is my local private university, Barry University. Meet your admission counselors. You will see here it says meet admission counselors. Sometimes it tells you by state, sometimes it asks you to put in state or whatever, or international. If you're looking at this again in Zimbabwe or what have you, feel free to mess around with it. But in this case, it doesn't offer that. So I would just pick one. to be biased, I'm going to pick this lady, Alyssa Persuad. You would think I would know how to pronounce her name. Alyssa is what I call her. She is wonderful. She is the one who always helps out my kids. And I've been working with her for a number of years. And she's really dynamic and fantastic. And there you can see her phone number. Yes, she will return your phone call. You will see her email. And in this case, you click on her name. You will see her little biography, what she likes about Barrie, and blah, blah, blah. And she's originally from Toronto, Ontario. I know I do have followers in Toronto. So there you go. She's from Toronto, Canada. She is absolutely fabulous. And she'll probably embarrass if she sees this, because she really does. She comes to all my college fairs and she always makes sure she comes to visit my school. You can't say enough about her. So make sure that you reach out to her, because she will at least guide you in the right direction if you're at least looking at the school and you need kind of pointers on where to go. And that is all I got in 25 minutes and 45 seconds. I really thank you for looking at this. Remember, this channel is both about tropical fish, aquatic turtles, little road trips to find fish and all that. We will eventually do road trips with kids without showing the kids to colleges. We're gonna have lots of fun. So make sure you follow, make sure you subscribe, make sure you like, make sure you comment. And I sincerely thank you whenever you're looking at this, whether it be now in 2020, 2025, 2030, 2040, whenever it is that you're watching this. I sincerely thank you for watching this, and please make sure, don't be afraid of college. It's doable, it's manageable, and I thank you. This is Louiedfresh signing off in 26 minutes and 31 seconds.